Well, I add my greetings and well wishes for this morning and for this day to all that are present. I'd like to start with stewardship. The pension boards is stewards of the monies that are contributed on behalf of the members, the account balances that we maintain for the benefit of the members and the various benefit plans. If we were to look at the pension boards from the outside, what the industry might look at it, you'd see that we are the 440th largest pension plan in America. So the top 1,000 pension plans in America, the UCC pension plan is retirement plan is rated 440th in terms of asset size. What the industry might look at it and call it a integrated financial services company. We do a lot of different things. We are a business in many ways for the benefit of the members of the church. And we look at that as we operate that operation from a perspective of stewardship and to recapture how we do our business and run our business. It's good to kind of look at the budget, and you'll see that the budget in 2005 as compared to the budget in 2010 increased only 3%. During this period, we significantly expanded services, outreach to our members, and we did that with essentially the same budget over a 5-year period. And if you contrast that to the inflation index, either as rated by the Northeast region, which is primarily where the pension boards is operated, or nationwide, you'll see that the CPI in that period was 14.5% or 13.7% respectively. So I think that's a good way to get to the bottom line of how the pension boards operates as a business in terms of stewardship. And if you look at the next slide, what does that mean for member accounts? Based upon the total assets under management, we have an all-in asset charge of 74 basis points. That's about 3/4 of 1 cent. Is what the asset charge is, and all in meaning not only is it the total investment charge, but also all administrative fees are about 74 basis points. If you compare that to the Morningstar average of over 15,000 mutual funds, that asset charge is about 155 basis points just for investments alone. And so the net effect adds over 1% to the return of member accounts, the efficiency of how we operate both in terms of our administration and the management of the dollars that we do on behalf of our members. And so stewardship is important. We think about it all the time. Who are our members? This is the report of 2009. And so effective January 31st, 2009, we had 21,490 members. Well, this is a snapshot of what we do with respect to those members, and as you can see, we received 108,231 requests for services. I wonder if that's really the number. But it is what we track internally in terms of our various systems, over 80,000 phone calls, 24,000 letters to New York, 2,500 here to our offices in Cleveland. Emails as described. We process over 112,000 annuity payments. Every one of those need to be right. There's a retiree that is waiting for that check or that deposit. Filled over 147,000 prescriptions, processed over 229,000 health, dental claims. Led pre-retirement seminars in which were attended by over 360 folk. On your behalf, on the corporations that we have positions in, we voted proxy ballots for nearly 500 different corporations. And our page views on our website is about 27,000 per month. So the activity that actually hits our website monthly. And if you look at that in relation to the number of members, we have 21,000 members and we're getting over 27,000 hits on our website each month. And the importance of how we actually relate to and communicate with our members is very, very important. And so communications and public relations, the next 3 or 4 slides will talk a little bit about that. Coming out of 2008, when the financial markets froze up and there were significant declines that we all felt about or heard about and felt, you could see that there was significant concern among our members, and we've always had a strong public relations and communications effort, but we ramped it up during 2009 significantly. In 2008, we started a series of what I call fireside chats, and we did that for 9 consecutive months, where members could just call in and talk with senior staff what's going on with the economy, what should we be concerned about, and those were very well attended. Each one of those calls averaged over 150 discrete callers. The very first one we did in October of 2008 lasted for nearly 2 hours, and we fielded nearly 90 questions from members, and we continued on with this communication effort through June of last year. And it was very well received and much appreciated by the church. What we do on an ongoing basis in terms of public relations and communications is monthly calls as well. That is topic specific. We do this on a monthly basis. We also conduct regional, and that's across the U.S., workshops that are pre-retirement or educational in nature. We had one here yesterday for a full day. Some of you may have seen what was happening in this room. We had 67 people from Northern Ohio that were coming and learning about retirement on a pre-retirement seminar. And again, we do 12 of those a year. And again, the average attendance, depending on location, is between 12 and 97. The larger attended ones are in more concentrated metropolitan areas. The smaller ones are in more rural areas. But we try to reach all in different ways. And they're all led by staff, member services staff, under the leadership of Joan Rogusky. The Western Seminarian event, each year there's seminarians that are gathered here in Cleveland, and we have a leadership event for that as well. We send out, and you all probably receive, publications, our quarterly news and views for employees. 12,000 active members or inactive members receive that edition. We have a separate edition that goes to our retirees quarterly as well, and you'll see that's over 9,000. We have correct email addresses for about 11,000 of the 21,000 members, and we send an e-blast out monthly related to that, and we can communicate very quickly with a very large percentage of our members through these e-blasts. To increase our capacity to communicate with the church, we are providing at no charge to the church, to conferences, a technology that is WebEx. It's web-based. It is a hub and spoke model where each conference has a hub, and they can each use that to relate to 250 spokes within their conferences, and we're providing this network to wire the entire church. You can see we now have 26 conferences that are utilizing this technology, and we're also having one setting of the national setting of the church, Wider Church Ministries, that is using this. And this is being provided at no charge to the church. So we can use this same technology to reach out and communicate with the entire church on a conference level, pension boards to conference, and then therefore conferences will have this same technology that they could communicate with up to 250 spokes, meaning local churches within the conference, and we could really network the entire church and wire the church, and we're doing this as of 2008, 2009. We hope to have the entire church brought onto this technology by year end. Also in the form of communications and public relations, the United Church of Christ Pension Boards is part of something called the Church Benefits Association. This is a group of 52 different denominations that has been meeting for 95 years to share common interests, concerns, develop best practices along ourselves. And what we've discovered as the market was coming unwound in 2008 was that there is concern about folks and their pension accounts and church plans generally. Those of us that are part of the Church Benefits Association, that our primary function is to operate steeple plans, meaning provide benefit services to local churches and their employees and related organizations. There are other church plans that have church plan exemptions for other reasons, and there could be difficulties with the administration of their pension program. So proactively, last year, the Church Benefits Association retained the services of Xenophon, which is a public relations firm in Washington, D.C. They represent the airline industry, so if a plane goes down, that's what they would represent. We were not thinking we were going to have a plane go down, but we wanted to have that level of expertise. They also represent the Salvation Army in terms of their public relations, and we have ramped up through the year to have a strategy in place should there be interest in church plans generally. We no sooner got this strategy done, 3 days later, the Augsburg Press pension operation failed. Augsburg Press is the publishing wing of the ELCA Lutheran Church, independent from their churches, but nevertheless they're publishing arm. And 2 days after that, the Diocese of Wilmington, Delaware went bankrupt. They went bankrupt because of the payment, largely because of sexual misconduct claims that they had to fund internally. The employees of both of those pension plans were adversely affected because of the failure of those pension operations, and there became a public relations concern. NPR came up with the story, church plans, the next shoe to drop, the Wall Street Journal similarly, and we had a strategy in place to address that. Some of you have heard I was on NPR last week related to that response, and there's a Wall Street Journal series that will be coming up in the next week or two related to investigation of church plans broadly. But we have a strategy in place to effectively, proactively tell the story of church plans that are doing jobs well.